What's the most ridiculous reason you found yourself in court? I'm a 28-year-old barista named Laura, and I never thought my golden retriever would land me in federal court. It started when I got Benny from a rescue shelter. He's this adorable goofball who looks amazing in tiny sweaters. So, I started posting pictures on Instagram. Nothing fancy, just Benny wearing different hats and outfits I'd find at the pet store. My posts were getting maybe 50 likes from friends and coworkers. I'd caption them stuff like, "Benny's ready for winter," or "Someone's feeling fancy today." I even made little stickers of his face to sell at the coffee shop where I work. People loved them. Then, one Tuesday morning, I woke up to a notification. Some woman named Shannon had tagged me in a post. I figured it was just another dog lover wanting to connect, but when I clicked on it, my stomach dropped. It was a cease and desist letter about my dog. Shannon claimed I was stealing her brand because her golden retriever looked similar to mine. She had this whole Instagram page with 80,000 followers called Princess Goldie's Adventures. Her dog wore flower crowns and fancy outfits. Shannon said my posts were confusing her fan base and demanded I delete everything, stop selling stickers, and pay $5,000 in damages. I thought it was some kind of joke, like who sues someone over a dog. Wearing a hat, showed my manager at work, and she just stared at the letter. "This can't be real," she said, but it had an actual law firm letterhead and everything. 2 weeks later, a guy in a suit knocked on my apartment door. I got served with actual court papers. Shannon was taking me to federal court for intellectual property theft over my dog's Instagram photos. I couldn't afford a lawyer, so I found this guy who did free consultations. He read through the lawsuit and started laughing. She's claiming she owns the concept of golden retrievers and accessories. He said, "This is insane, but we have to take it seriously." The day of court arrived. Shannon showed up with a briefcase full of printed Instagram screenshots. She wore this expensive business suit and had her hair done like she was going to a wedding. I just wore my nicest jeans and a sweater. When the judge asked Shannon to explain her case, she stood up confidently. "Your Honor, my dog, Princess Goldie, has been a registered trademark in the pet influencer space since 2019. This defendant has copied our signature look of flower crowns and seasonal outfits, causing brand confusion among our followers." She pulled out screenshots of Miz from her followers, saying things like, "Is this your dog?" And I thought this was Princess Goldie. Shannon argued that since her dog was known online for wearing flower crowns, my similar photos were stealing her intellectual property. The judge looked confused. How exactly can you own the concept of a golden retriever wearing a hat? Shannon didn't miss a beat. "Because my dog did it first, Your Honor. We established this aesthetic in the marketplace." That's when my lawyer stood up. He prepared this whole presentation. First, he showed the judge a video compilation of over 30 different golden retrievers online wearing flower crowns and party hats. Dogs from all over the world, some posted years before Shannon even got her dog. Then he pulled up timestamps. Turns out some of my Benny photos were actually posted before Shannon's similar ones. She'd been copying other people's ideas too. The best part was when my lawyer showed the judge Shannon's own posts. She'd literally copied poses and outfit styles from bigger dog accounts. Our original flower crown idea, there were hundreds of dogs doing it already. The judge dismissed the case in under 10 minutes. He called it entirely frivolous and said Shannon wasted everyone's time. She had to pay court costs. The judge's dismissal felt like a weight lifting off my chest. In just a few minutes, he cut through the nonsense and called the whole thing frivolous. Shannon was ordered to pay court costs, and though it wasn't a massive financial win, it was a huge victory for my sanity. After the courtroom, I stepped outside, blinking in the sunlight, surrounded by reporters who'd somehow caught wind of the flower crown dog lawsuit. The story went viral overnight. turning Benny into an accidental celebrity. People loved the underdog tale of a barista fighting off a bizarre lawsuit over her golden retrievers. The coffee shop even started selling Benny's legal defense fund stickers, with all proceeds going to animal rescue charities. My life had gone from regular coffee shifts to media interviews and supportive messages from pet lovers worldwide. But the bizarre saga wasn't quite over. A few weeks later, my phone buzzed with a notification from Instagram. My account was temporarily restricted. Apparently, a flood of fake reports from Shannon's followers had flagged my photos for copyright violation. It was frustrating and stressful, but I fought back with help from my lawyer and the social media platform. Eventually, my account was restored, and the flood of support only grew louder. The whole ordeal taught me how strange and wild the world of social media trademarks could be, how a simple love for dogs could spiral into a federal court case over flower crowns and costumes. Now, Benny rocks his hats with pride, immune to lawsuits and ready for his next photo shoot. And me? Well, I'm just happy to keep brewing coffee and capturing the moments that truly matter. 1. Goofy dog sweater at a time. Story 2. I sent out 97 baby shower invitations. Nobody came, not even my parents. They were all at my sister's finally 21 rooftop bash instead. At 3:47 p.m., my mom sent me a live stream link so you don't miss her big moment. 10 minutes later, my uncle raised a glass and said to the golden child, the one who actually made us proud. I did not react. Then I blocked the fund and pulled my name from her lease. By 6:03 p.m., 53 missed calls. The last text, "You ruined her night." I replied, technically, I was the host. Practically, I was a placeholder. One rented the community hall 3 blocks from my apartment. The one with faded banners from 2014 and folding chairs that squeak like they're in pain. I ordered cupcakes with "It's a boy" spelled out in royal blue icing, even though I told everyone I didn't want to make it a gender reveal. They laughed. "Don't be boring," my mom said. "Do it right." So, I did. I sent out 97 invitations, real ones, paper printed, glossy, mailed, not texted. RSVPs required. My sister designed them. She added little gold stars and a baby in a top hat. "Elegant whimsy," she said. "You're welcome." None of them showed up, not even her. By 3:30 p.m., I had 48 untouched chairs, 14 untouched gift bags, 3 dozen egg salad sandwiches curling at the edges, and a single text from my cousin Rachel. "So sorry, stuck in traffic. Hope it's beautiful." I checked Instagram. Tia, at 3:41, Rachel posted a boomerang of champagne glasses clinking against a sunset rooftop. My sister in the center, pink heels, glitter dress, throwing peace signs next to a balloon arch that said, "Finally, 21." At 3:47 p.m., my mom sent me a live stream link so you don't miss her big moment. It opened to a shaky vertical video of my sister fake crying while someone sang a bad acoustic version of "Happy Birthday." She was holding a custom cake shaped like a martini glass. My uncle raised his drink to the golden child, the one who actually made us proud. I stared at my phone, did not react, did not throw anything, stood in a hall with a deflating welcome baby banner and a tray of mini quiches that nobody would eat. Then I opened my banking app, froze the family fund, pulled my name from her lease. By 6:03 p.m., 53 missed calls. My mom, my dad, Rachel, even Steve, the cousin who once stole my charger and said it felt communal. The last text, "You ruined her night." I replied, "You streamed it to me. I participated." Let's back up, because if you're going to skip my baby shower to toast my sister's 21st birthday like it's the Oscars, you better at least Venmo me for the chairs. You won't, of course. You never did. You want to talk numbers? Let's talk numbers. $2,000 a month. That's what I sent to the family fund. It started small. A little help here, a little bill there. But over the last 3 years, it became automatic, like a subscription to dysfunction. I was the human direct deposit. They never asked nicely. They just said things like, "You're the responsible one. You don't have a family yet, so you've got the flexibility." Flexibility, cute word for being their financial spinal cord. $1,200. My sister's rent every month for 14 months. That's $16,800 for an apartment I've never stepped into in a city she hates, next to a guy named Kyle who once asked me if I worked in it or just looked like it. $6,042. Tuition payment spring semester. Just until her financial aid kicks in. It never did. Neither did gratitude. $890. The tires on my dad's truck. Emergency. He said the emergency being that he drove to a fishing trip in Arizona and accidentally left his wallet at home. $3,400. Roof repairs. My mom said it was leaking. I asked for a photo. She sent a screenshot of the weather app and said, "Look, it's raining." Then there was the car Honda 2010. Still alive, barely kicking. I gave it to my sister when she said her mental health couldn't handle the bus anymore. No, thank you. Just a follow-up request for Bluetooth speakers because she couldn't vibe in silence. I gave like repeat. Not once, not one time did anyone say, "You okay? Do you have enough left for yourself? How's the pregnancy?" Instead, I got lines like, "Well, it's not like you're saving for a wedding. You're lucky you're not dealing with kids. My friend's daughter got $10,000 from her brother. You're honestly kinda frugal." Frugal. I covered your Netflix, your dental bills, your impulse buy air fryer, and you still called me frugal. You want more numbers? $217. The cost of the baby shower decorations. I paid for the banner, the balloons, the custom cookies shaped like pacifiers. My mom said, "Those are kind of extra, don't you think?" While texting my sister about LED lights for her rooftop party, $94.38. The cost of printing 97 invitations, which, let's be real, is about 96 more than I needed, because nobody came. Oh, wait, I lied. The caterer came. He looked at the empty chairs, blinked twice, and asked if this was a setup. "Am I being filmed?" he said. "Like a prank show or something?" I said, "No, just a normal family event." He nodded. Yikes. He stayed an hour longer than he needed to. Sat with me, ate a sandwich, said, "You deserve better." Then packed up his van and left. That guy, that random man who made sliders and klesla for ghosts, he was the only one who stayed. And while I sat there, phone buzzing with rooftop selfies and happy birthday reels, I opened the receipts, all of them. Folder by folder, screenshots, bank statements, Zelle confirmations. I wasn't angry. I was methodical. This was the part where the switch flipped, where I stopped being the extra generous sibling and started being the quiet one with a spreadsheet, because here's what they never get. When I paid their bills, they thought it meant they were smarter, that they had support, that I was just doing my part. I was buying silence. I was buying a seat at the table, and they never gave me one. So now, I don't care what table they sit at. I just turned off the lights. It didn't hit me until minute 43 of the live stream. I watched it out of morbid curiosity, not because I cared about her turning 21. She'd been partying since high school. But because I needed to know what I'd been replaced by. At 3:47 p.m., my mother sent me the link. Subject line, "So you don't miss her big moment." It opened to my sister standing on a rooftop I paid for, holding a cocktail I paid for, surrounded by people, a tie-fed, housed-covered fur, all laughing like I never existed. 10 minutes and my uncle raised his glass and said to the golden child, the one who actually made us proud, He emphasized that actually, I didn't react, didn't even blink. Just quietly moved $4,200 from the family emergency account to my personal savings. At 4:21 p.m., pulled my name from my sister's lease. At 4:35, I deleted the Google Doc labeled Family Budget Shared. I created it 2 years ago. My dad never opened it once. At 512, I opened the baby shower RSVP tracker. Only one reply. Maybe, depending on traffic. From my cousin, who lives 6 blocks away, at 5:38, I got the text. You ruined her night. I replied, you mean my afternoon? At 5:44, silence. At 6:03 p.m., the calls began. 53 missed calls. First my mom, then my sister, then Rachel, then my dad, then my uncle, then my mom again, then no caller ID, which I assume was Steve using someone else's phone like this was a heist. The last voicemail was just breathing and a voice saying, "Can't believe he did this." In the background, they met me. They couldn't believe I had ruined her night. Let's clarify what her night cost. $1,700 rooftop rental, paid through my account. I had the receipt. $980 open bar. I paid the deposit in February. $463 for custom. Neon sign. Finally, 21. Guess whose credit card was saved on Etsy? $268 Uber credits. Family code Celebrate 21 created and paid for by me. She said, "Can I just use your card to set it up? I'll reimburse." That was 2.5 months ago. She never reimbursed. You know what I paid for on my big day? Parking. $12 cash only. The church across from the community center had guest parking, except the guests didn't exist. By 7:00 p.m., I had canceled the shared dental plan. Her gym membership I'd been covering since 2022. The Canva Pro subscription she swore she needed for work. Then I logged into her student loan portal. Guess who was listed as financial cosigner? Me. Guess who clicked remove authorization?
Also me.
You'd think that was enough. It wasn't because at 7:31 p.m. my sister texted, "I just found out my rent didn't go through. Did something happen with your bank?" I answered, "Yeah." It woke up. She didn't reply. At 8:14 p.m., my mother called again. I answered. She didn't even say hello, just launched into it. "Do you realize what you've done?" She's devastated. Her birthday is ruined. People noticed you weren't there. They asked why I waited. Then I said, "Tell them the truth." "What?" "Tell them I was hosting a baby shower and nobody came." Silence. Then she said, "Don't make this about you." I smiled. "I didn't. You did?" She hung up. I thought that was the end. It wasn't. 2 days later, I got a call from the leasing office. My name was still tied to my sister's apartment. She never signed the new paperwork. And apparently, she missed last month's rent, too. Balance, $1,200. Late fee, $85. I asked for a PDF of the file, was illuminating. Turns out she hadn't just missed rent. She'd used my name to set up utilities, water, electricity, Wi-Fi, all billed to me. All unpaid for 2 billing cycles. They asked if I'd like to settle the balance. I said no. They asked if I wanted to forward the debt to collections. I allowed the account to follow standard procedures. 5 hours later, my sister texted in all caps, "Are you serious?" "Yes," she followed with, "You're destroying my credit." I replied, "I'm matching the energy." Then came the group chat ambush. My mom, "We need to talk." My dad, "You're being dramatic." My aunt, "She's just a kid." My uncle, "You've always been intense." My sister, "This is financial pressure." I left the group, one click, gone. By the end of the week, they tried one last move. They sent a family intervention email, subject line, "Let's start fresh." It included a Google Meet link and a time Saturday 11 a.m. I didn't join. Instead, at 11:02, I sent them a shared folder titled Financial Contributions 2021 to 2024. It included every payment I made, every statement, every time they told me I was lucky to be childless, every single instance where I was treated like a backup dancer in a family musical. I didn't write a message, just uploaded it and clicked shared with all. 2 hours later, my dad called. "Is this how you want to go out?" I said, "No. I wanted a baby shower." Then I hung up. By 11:09, the calls began. My sister first, 5 in a row, then my mom, then my dad, then a wild card Aunt Sandra. She hadn't spoken to me since 2019. Not since. I refused to invest in her Eco Crystal juice bar that somehow needed $90,000 and a blessing from Mercury in retrograde. Ignored them all. Then at 11:30, a new email came in. "Are you trying to destroy us?" Short answer, no. Long answer, "I'm just done letting you destroy me." That afternoon, I went to my bookshelf, top drawer, pulled out the emergency-only envelope. Inside, my sister's student ID, her tuition invoice, and a signed form with my signature used without my consent across the bottom, declaring me as her financial guarantor. I never signed that form. I'd let it slide when I first saw it 6 months ago. Thought maybe she misunderstood. Maybe she panicked. Maybe she was going to tell me. He didn't. So, I logged into the university portal, clicked Financial Responsibility, clicked Revoke Authorization, clicked Block Card. Then I emailed the school with 3 attachments: my government ID, real signature samples, the forged document with a short message: "This was not authorized. Please investigate." They replied 2 hours later. "Understood. The matter is under review. Pending resolution. You are no longer liable for this account." At 6:22 p.m., my sister called. I picked up. "What did you do?" I took a bite of my sandwich. "Fixed an error. You got me flagged for a financial issue." "Oh, you did?" "You said you'd support me." "I said that 18 months ago before you threw a rooftop party with my rent money." Silence. Then she said the quiet part out loud. "If they drop me, I'll have to move back home." Good. That was just day 1. Day 2, I got a voicemail from my mom. Her voice was shaking, but not with sadness, with performance. "You've always been the mature one. Thug the glue. Don't let bitterness ruin what we've built. What we've built, lady, I built it. Brick by brick, bill by bill." That night, I logged into my dad's pension portal. Guess who had the password? Me. Guess who'd been monitoring the payout delays? Also me. I forwarded the email thread to him, highlighted one sentence: "Final disbursement pending form submission by account holder." Translation: he never turned in the final paperwork. So I stopped calling the representative on his behalf. Let him figure out his own retirement. Then came Monday, 9:04 a.m., unknown number. I picked up. "Hi, this is Jenna from a local credit union. We're calling about the co-signed auto loan for a 2010 Honda. I revoked it." I said. Pause. "Understood. We'll update the account accordingly." I didn't even need to explain. My sister had defaulted. She was 2 months behind. The same car I gave her as a gift now had my name legally tied to its debt. Not anymore. By Tuesday, the panic turned strategic. My mom sent a text. "Let's have dinner. Just us, no drama. Promise." She even added a heart emoji. I replied, "Sure, you pick the place." She chose the Italian place near the lake, the one with the dim lighting and overpriced ravioli. I showed up early, ordered sparkling water, reviewed my notes. At 6:07 p.m., they walked in. Not just her, My dad came, too, dressed like he thought this was a court hearing. My mom wore the necklace I bought her 3 Christmases ago, the one she said wasn't her style and never wore. We sat, they smiled, and talked about the weather, the news, nothing relevant. Then my dad cleared his throat. We just want to reset. I nodded. Let's do it. He relaxed, too early. My mom leaned in. You've always been generous. We've leaned on you too much. That ends now, but just until we get through this month. Could you? Raised my hand, opened a folder, pulled out printed invoices. Mortgage, $3,400 a month. Utilities, $740 average. Streaming services, yes, all 6 of them, $112.94. My sister's Uber receipts, $683 in 1 month. One ride was labeled Rooftop Arrival. I slid the stack toward them. My dad stared. What is this? The last 12 months of my life. My mom opened her mouth. I slid a second folder. Here's the tuition breakdown. $18,126 total. Your daughter called me financially abusive on Instagram. She also tagged Nike in the post. Silence. Then I said, I'm done. They didn't react at first, still waiting for the second act. The apology, the softening. It didn't come. I'm not angry, I added. I'm just finished. My dad laughed. Not loud. The kind of laugh you make when you hear your own power slipping. You think cutting us off makes you strong. No, it makes me free. We sat in silence. For once, they couldn't spin it. Couldn't guilt me. Couldn't say I was too emotional or too cold. I was just done. I've also organized something, I said. My mom raised her eyebrows. I didn't say much, just pointed to the tables. Each had a folder labeled by name. My uncle, my aunt, my cousin, my sister, my parents. Inside each, a resume template. A list of local job openings, a printout of their most recent financial dependence on me, and a note that read, You're capable. Here's your chance to prove it. Just silence, awkward page turning, and the sound of reality setting in. My mom was the first to break. This is embarrassing, she whispered. No, I said. This is fair. She blinked like she couldn't compute a version of me that didn't flinch. My dad stood up. We're leaving, I nodded. Sure. My sister looked at her folder like it was a threat. So, what now? You just vanish. I shook my head. No, I'm still here. I'm just not theirs anymore. That night, I wrote one message. It went out to the whole family group chat, the one I'd been removed from 3 weeks ago. Apparently, I was too negative. I rejoined, typed exactly 11 words. You said you're better off without me. Now prove it. Then I left the chat, blocked all of them. Phone socials, gone. My mom called from a landline 3 hours later. I let it ring. Then again, then again. The next day, I got an email from my dad. Subject line, You've made your point. Inside a PDF of his pension paperwork, screenshot of my sister's past due tuition notice. A final line, We hope you'll come back to your senses. I replied with one word, no. Then came the public meltdown phase. Cousins posting cryptic quotes about loyalty. My aunt tweeting things like money doesn't buy kindness. My uncle writing a Facebook post that started with, Some people forget where they come from. I didn't respond to any of it. But I saw everything, and I smiled, because for once, they were the ones trying to make sense of silence. They wanted the speech, the guilt, the backpedaling. I gave them none of it. Only stillness, only boundaries, only quiet. A week passed. Then, another, no calls, no emails. I figured they gave up, but then came the box left on my doorstep. No return address. Inside, baby onesie. A plush giraffe card. The card said, "We all said things we didn't mean. Let's start over. Love, Mom." I put the giraffe on the shelf. It was cute. Then I threw the card away. I thought that was the end. It wasn't. 3 days later, I got a letter from a law firm, family name in the subject. Apparently, my parents had filed a claim. They were suing me, not for money, for emotional damages, claiming that my withdrawal of familial support had caused distress, that my actions were intentionally harmful, that I weaponized finances in a familial context. I read it 3 times. Then I laughed for the first time in weeks. They had nothing. They knew it, but they filed anyway, not to win, just to scare me, to pull me back in, to say we still have control. They didn't, because attached to that letter was something they forgot would come with it. The name of their attorney he used to be my attorney. The same man who helped me draw power of attorney documents 3 years ago when I was going through estate planning after the miscarriage. No one in my family ever asked me about the same documents I had sent my parents, which they signed, which gave me legal documentation of every transfer I made, every account I funded, every line they crossed. I called Carson. He picked up on the second ring. "This about the lawsuit?" "No." I said, "It's about closure." Weak. I filed a counterclaim. I didn't want the money, but I wanted the statement. They said I was cruel. I showed them the receipts. The media didn't hear about it, but the neighborhood did. And for the first time in years, when someone asked about me, they didn't say, "Oh, that's the one who helps everyone." They said, "He's the one who finally stopped." They thought I was the wallet with emotions. Now they only have the emotions, and I have my son and peace and silence that doesn't demand anything.